Have you ever looked at the man who betrayed you, the man who walked away from the commitment and the spiritual bond you shared, and wondered why he seems to be thriving? You see the pictures on social media, you hear the stories from mutual friends. He appears happy, he appears unbothered, he appears to be moving on with his life as if your tears never touched the ground, as if your prayers for him never reached the heavens. And in the quiet of your own room, you ask God, why? Why does he get to break my heart and keep his peace? Why does he get to destroy my trust and keep his blessings? It feels like an injustice that cuts deeper than the betrayal itself. It feels like heaven is silent. But I need you to listen to me very closely right now, because what I'm about to tell you will change the way you see your pain. And more importantly, it will change the way you see his success. What you are seeing is a mirage. It is a facade built on sand. You are looking at the surface, but God is looking at the foundation, and the foundation is crumbling. There is a spiritual law that governs the universe, a law as real as gravity, and it states that you cannot harm a consecrated woman, a woman set apart by God, a woman who was covering you with her prayers, and expect your life to remain intact. Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you, and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuru readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment. He thinks he just ended a relationship. He thinks he just broke up with a partner. He has no idea that he has disconnected himself from his source of favor. We are going to go deep today. We are going to uncover the 3 specific stages of divine consequence that are currently unfolding in his life, even if he hasn't admitted it to himself yet. We are going to talk about why his bank accounts are beginning to dry up, why his opportunities are withering, and why a strange, unexplainable scarcity is hitting him. And we are going to talk about you, why you are in this season of silence, and why God has hidden you away. Before we unlock this mystery, I want you to take a deep breath and center yourself. You are not here by accident. This message found you because it is time for you to stop looking at his fake happiness and start preparing for your real elevation. If you are ready to receive this truth, I want you to click that like button right now, not for the algorithm, but as a spiritual signal that you are open to seeing the reality behind the illusion. Let's begin with the first layer of this spiritual unraveling. It starts in the mind. When a man inflicts pain upon a woman consecrated by divine will, he triggers a spiritual chain reaction. The first consequence is not a lightning bolt from the sky. God is rarely that loud in the beginning. The first consequence is a slow, creeping conviction. It is a spiritual disquiet. You see, when he was with you, he had peace. Do you remember? He might have told you that you were his calm. That is because your spirit, your prayers, and your presence were acting as a spiritual regulator for his chaos. You were the peace in his storm. When he betrayed that, he didn't just lose a girlfriend or a wife, he lost his peace. Now he may be surrounded by noise, by parties, by new people, or by distractions. He might be working overtime to prove he is successful, but watch closely. The consequence is a whisper that finds him in his moments of solitude. It is 3 a.m. and he cannot sleep. Is the drive home from work where the silence feels heavy? It is a restlessness that no amount of money, alcohol, or new attention can satisfy. This is the quiet whisper of judgment. It is actually mercy in disguise. God is unsettling him, trying to get his attention, showing him that the path he chose, the path of betrayal, leads only to an internal void. Psychologically, this is known as cognitive dissonance, but spiritually, it is the removal of the peace of God that surpasses all understanding. He traded a diamond for a stone, and his soul knows the difference, even if his ego won't admit it. He is trying to fill a spiritual hole with worldly things, and it is exhausting him. Have you noticed he looks tired around the eyes in those photos? Have you noticed a frantic energy in his movements? That is the spirit of restlessness. He's running from a guilt he hasn't acknowledged yet, but the unraveling goes deeper than just his sleep. This brings us to the second and perhaps most tangible response from the divine. This is where we see the physical manifestation of a spiritual error. We need to talk about his finances. We need to talk about his favor. There is a profound biblical and spiritual principle that says a godly woman is a favor to her husband or partner. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Notice the order. The favor comes after the connection with the woman. You were the conduit. You were the pipeline through which God was blessing his life. You might have noticed that when you were together, things just worked out for him. Deals went through, promotions happened. Money stretched further than it should have. That wasn't a coincidence. That was the covering you provided. You were tithing your time, your energy, and your prayers into his life. When he dishonored you, when he treated you as disposable, he severed the conduit. He cut the pipe. Now we are seeing the erosion of favor. It doesn't happen overnight. It's like a slow leak in a tire. At first, the car still drives, but mile after mile, the pressure drops. Suddenly, the deals that used to be easy are becoming difficult. The clients who used to call are going silent. Unexpected expenses are piling up. His car breaks down. His investments take a hit. He is working harder than ever, but he is seeing less return. It is the Haggai principle. You earn wages only to put them in a purse with holes in it. Why is this happening? Because he violated the law of honor. Honor is the currency of the Spirit. When you honor people, especially those God has placed in your life to bless you, you attract abundance. When you dishonor them, you attract scarcity. He is experiencing a financial drought because he betrayed the person who brought the rain. It is not that God is vindictive. It is that God is just. You cannot build a kingdom of success on a foundation of broken hearts. It will not stand. I want to pause here for a moment. This is heavy, I know. But before I reveal the specific sign that confirms this scarcity is hitting him right now, a sign you might have already seen but didn't recognize, I want to invite you to join this community. If you feel the truth of these words resonating in your spirit, if you feel your intuition saying, yes, this is what is happening, then subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. We are building a sanctuary here for those who are ready to rise from the ashes of betrayal. Don't walk this path alone. Now let's look at the mechanics of this scarcity. It's fascinating and terrifying. When a man betrays a consecrated woman, he often tries to replace her quickly. He might jump into a new relationship, or he might chase status symbols to prove he is winning. But here is the secret. The new things he acquires will become liabilities, not assets. The new relationship will drain him, not replenish him. Why? Because it is not blessed. He is trying to plant seeds in soil that has been salted by his own betrayal. You might hear that he is struggling to pay for things he used to afford easily. You might hear complaints about bad luck. It's not bad luck. It's the removal of the hedge of protection. You were praying for him in ways he didn't even know. You were praying away the devourer. You were praying for wisdom in his decisions. Now that you are gone, or rather, Now that he has pushed you away, he is exposed to the elements. He is making decisions out of ego, not wisdom. And the market, the workplace, and the world are responding to that chaotic energy. His Midas touch is turning into the Midas rust. There is a specific psychological aspect to this as well. When a man carries the heavy, subconscious burden of guilt, even if he suppresses it, it affects his cognitive function, it affects his confidence, it affects the way he negotiates. People can sense it. Business partners can sense a desperate or inauthentic energy. Subconsciously, people pull away from him. He is losing his magnetic pull because his magnet is cracked. But while he is experiencing this decline, this slow drying up of his accounts and his spirit, something very different is happening to you. And this is the most important part of this message. You might feel like you are being punished. You might feel isolated. You might feel like you are in a dark room while he is out in the light, but you need to flip the script. You are not being rejected. You are being redirected. You are not in a tomb. You are in a womb. This brings us to the third sacred process, elevation in silence. Why has God pulled you away? Why has the silence been so loud in your life? Because God cannot rebuild you in the noise. When a woman is consecrated, when she is marked for a high purpose, her pain is never wasted. The enemy attacks you because of what you carry. The betrayal happened because the enemy wanted to break your spirit before you stepped into your next level of destiny. But God used the betrayal to sever a tie that would have held you back. If he had stayed, if things had continued the way they were, you would have remained his covering while he drained you dry. You would have been the battery that kept him charged while you slowly died inside. God loved you too much to let that happen. So he allowed the separation. He allowed the heartbreak, not to hurt you, but to save you. God draws you into a quiet place to insulate you. Think about a seed. For a seed to grow, it must be buried in the dark soil. It feels like the end, but it is the beginning. You are in the Joseph season. Joseph was betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, and sold into slavery. He was isolated. He was forgotten. But all of that was transportation to the palace. You are being hidden because you are being healed. God is removing the toxicity of that relationship from your system. He is detoxing your spirit. In this season of silence, your favor is accumulating. While his accounts are drying up, your spiritual accounts are compounding interest. You are learning to depend solely on the divine. You are rediscovering your worth, not through a man's approval, but through God's definition of you. You are becoming dangerous to the kingdom of darkness because a healed, consecrated woman is a force of nature. I want to challenge you right now. I want you to claim this season. In the comments below, I want you to write a declaration. Write, I am consecrated and my elevation has begun. Speak it into existence. Let the universe know that you are no longer the victim of his betrayal. You are the architect of your future. Let's go back to him for a moment, because you need to be prepared for what comes next. As the scarcity hits him, as the restlessness grows, as the quiet whisper becomes a shout, he will reach a breaking point. He will realize that the grass wasn't greener. It was just painted artificial turf. He will realize that in his pursuit of more, he lost the most. And inevitably, the thought will cross his mind, I need to go back. He will remember the peace he had with you. He will remember the favor he walked in when he was by your side. And he might try to return. He might send a text. He might show up. He might spin a story about how he has changed, how he misses you, how he made a mistake. And this is where you must be vigilant. This is where you must use the discernment that this season of silence has cultivated in you. Because often, he isn't coming back for you. He is coming back for the oil. He is coming back because his lamp has run dry, and he remembers that you are a wellspring. He is coming back to plug into the power source again. But you are not a charging station for a man who doesn't pay the bill of commitment. You are not a rehabilitation center for a man who refuses to do the inner work. If he comes back without true repentance, and repentance is not just tears, it is a complete change of behavior and direction, then letting him back in will only restart the cycle. It will stop your elevation and pause his karma. You must love yourself enough to keep the door locked until you see the fruit of change, not just the flowers of apology. The scarcity he is facing is necessary. It is the only thing that might wake him up. If you rescue him from the consequences of his actions, you interrupt God's lesson. Let him feel the drought. Let him feel the weight of the bills. Let him feel the silence of the empty room. It is in that valley that he might finally look up and see where he went wrong. It is in that pig pen, like the prodigal son, that he might come to his senses. But you are not the servant waiting to clean him up. You are the queen sitting on the throne he abdicated. There is a powerful realization that happens when you understand the spiritual dynamics of betrayal. You stop hating him. You stop obsessing over him. You start to feel a distant pity. You realize that he is fighting a war against his own soul, and he is losing. You realize that by betraying you, he betrayed himself. And this release of anger is the final key to your freedom. When you no longer need his apology to be whole, you are free. When you no longer need to see him fail to feel validated, you are healed. The data on this is clear in the realm of psychology as well. Post-traumatic growth is a real phenomenon. People who go through deep relational trauma often emerge with higher levels of empathy, greater resilience, and a clearer sense of purpose. But it requires perspective. It requires seeing the trauma, not as a life sentence, but as a life lesson. And for the audience listening who is over 35, this is crucial. You might feel like time is running out. You might feel like you invested your best years in the wrong person. That is a lie from the pit. God redeems time. The years the locusts have eaten will be restored. When you align with your purpose, when you walk in your consecration, God can do in 6 months what would take 10 years of human striving. Your late is God's right on time. Think of the women in history and scripture who were hidden before they were used. Think of Esther, hidden in the palace, undergoing 12 months of beauty treatments, which was really a time of preparation and purification, before she stood before the king to save her people. You are in your purification process. The oils of adversity are refining you. The crushing you feel is producing the oil of anointing. So what do you do now? How do you navigate this season while he's going through his drought? First, you maintain your silence. Do not gloat over his failure. Do not gossip about his financial troubles. Do not rejoice when your enemy falls, and let not your heart be glad when he stumbles, lest the Lord see it and be displeased, and turn away his anger from him. This is a scary verse, but a powerful one. If you mock him, you step out of your character and into his mud. Stay high. Let God handle the justice. Your silence is louder than any argument. It confuses him. He expects you to be bitter. Instead, be better. Second, you focus on your own stewardship. He is losing his resources. You must build yours. Focus on your finances, your health, your spiritual walk. God is clearing the deck so he can load you with new cargo. This is the time to start that business, write that book, join that ministry, take that trip. Occupy your territory. Third, pray for him from a distance. This sounds counterintuitive, but it is the ultimate power move. Pray that his eyes be opened. Pray that his soul finds rest in God, not in things. Praying for him releases the last cords of bitterness binding you to him. It doesn't mean you want him back. It means you are releasing him to God. I release you to your destiny, and I step into mine. The next revelation might shock you. Sometimes the scarcity he faces is permanent until he makes restitution. There are spiritual debts that must be paid. If he took from you, financially, emotionally, spiritually, without balancing the scales, the universe will keep the account open. He might find himself in a cycle of almost there, but never arriving. He sees the finish line, but it keeps moving. This is the curse of the betrayer. It is a heavy thing to carry, and it is not your job to lift it. As we move toward the close of this message, I want you to visualize your life 6 months from now. Imagine waking up with a peace that flows like a river. Imagine looking at your bank account and seeing overflow because you are walking in obedience. Imagine a new love or a deepened self-love that feels safe, sacred, and secure. This is not a fantasy. This is your trajectory. The storm you just survived was clearing the path for this reality. The man who betrayed you is in the past, even if he's still physically present in the world. He is a lesson you have graduated from. Do not retake the class. Let his drying accounts be a reminder of the value of what he lost. Let his restlessness be a confirmation of the peace you provided, and let his absence be the space where God fills you with his presence. You are a daughter of the Most High. You are consecrated, you are covered, and anyone who touches you touches the apple of God's eye. The reaction has begun. The scales are balancing. The drought is hitting the desert he created, while the rain is coming to the garden you are planting. I want to leave you with a challenge for this week. Every time the thought of him comes up, every time you feel the sting of betrayal or the curiosity about how he is doing, I want you to say out loud, "I am the prize, and my favor is returning to me." Redirect that energy. Do not send your energy to him. Keep it. Use it to water your own garden. If this message has been a light in your darkness, if it has given you the vocabulary to understand the spiritual warfare you have been fighting, please share this video. Send it to a sister, a friend, a mother who needs to know that her pain is seen and her vindication is coming. Share it on your social media. Let's spread this truth. And before you go, remember to check the description for resources to help you heal and rebuild. We have a community waiting for you. You are not crazy. You are not forgotten. You are just in the middle of a divine plot twist. The chapter of betrayal is ending. The chapter of glory is beginning. Stay strong, stay consecrated, and watch what God does next. The silence of heaven wasn't neglect, it was the deep breath before the miraculous. He is handling your battles while you prepare for your blessings. The scarcity is his portion, the abundance is yours. Receive it, walk in it, and never look back at the burning city you left behind. Your future is forward. God bless you. I'll see you in the next video. Welcome back. We are going deeper. You have understood the principle. Now let's look at the mechanics of this spiritual transfer, because there is a hidden layer to this reality that most people miss, and missing it is what keeps them stuck in the loop of pain. You might be asking, if justice is real, why does he look happy on social media? Why does he seem to be thriving while I am here picking up the pieces? This is the illusion that tests your faith. It is the smokescreen before the fire. We need to dismantle this illusion right now so you can stop looking at the fake highlight reel and start seeing the rotting foundation underneath. The first thing you must understand is the phenomenon of the false bloom. In agriculture, a dying tree will sometimes produce a massive amount of fruit or flowers right before it collapses. It is a stress response. It is a last-ditch effort by the organism to propagate before the end. When a narcissist or a betrayer leaves a source of genuine light, that's you, they often experience a manic burst of energy. They travel, they post photos with new people, they buy new cars. It looks like an upgrade, but spiritually and psychologically, this is the false bloom. It is not sustainable growth, it is the burning of reserves. He is running on the battery power you charged up for him. When that battery dies, and it always does, There is no generator to plug into because he cut the cord to the source. Do not envy the false bloom. It is the precursor to the wither. While he is burning out, you are being planted. There is a difference. Being buried feels like the end, but for a seed, it is the beginning. You are in the dark soil, yes, but you are developing roots that will hold you up for the rest of your life. He is a cut flower in a vase, looking pretty for a week, but already dead because he has no root system. Now let's talk about the specific symptoms of scarcity that begin to manifest in his life, often behind closed doors where the Instagram camera doesn't go. The first symptom is the loss of the favor of ease. When he was with you, things just worked. The car started, the deals went through, the health was stable. You were praying for him, you were managing the atmosphere, you were the spiritual thermostat of the home. When you leave, the temperature drops. Suddenly, he faces friction. Friction in his job, friction in his new relationships, friction in his body. He will not attribute this to losing you. His ego won't allow it. He will blame bad luck, the economy, or his new partner. But you know the truth. The covering is gone. He is standing in the rain without an umbrella, wondering why he is getting wet. This leads to the second symptom, the chaos of the mind. Without your grounding presence, his thoughts become scattered. Watch his trajectory over the next year. You will see erratic decisions. He will pivot careers, move houses, change friends, or adopt strange new hobbies in a desperate attempt to fill the void. This is not freedom, this is flailing. It is the behavior of a drowning man trying to grab onto anything that floats. He is looking for the peace he felt when he was near you, but he is looking for it in things, in status, and in other people who are just as empty as he is. And this brings us to a critical point that usually makes people uncomfortable, but we must address it: the new supply. You might be tortured by the thought of the woman who replaced you. You imagine she's getting the best version of him. You think, maybe he changed for her. Maybe he is treating her right. Let me silence that lie forever. He did not undergo a heart transplant just because he changed zip codes. He took his demons with him. The new person is not getting the better version. She is getting the hungry version. He is using her to patch the hole you left. And here is the tragedy he won't admit. He is constantly comparing her to you, not necessarily in looks, but in essence. He is looking for that deep, soulful reassurance you provided, and he isn't finding it because that was your unique anointing. He will eventually start to devalue her just like he did you, because she cannot carry the weight of his broken soul. It is a cycle. Do not be jealous of the person who just inherited your problem. Pray for her, because she is about to go through what you just survived. Now I want to shift the focus back to you, because his decline is inevitable, but your rise is optional. You have to choose it. You have to actively participate in your own rescue. The biggest trap for women, especially after 35, is the belief that my best years are behind me. That is a lie from the pit. In the spiritual realm, your 20s were for learning, but your 30s, 40s, and 50s are for earning. Earning wisdom, earning authority, earning true prosperity. You are entering your queen era. The queen era is characterized by discernment. You no longer tolerate what you used to entertain. This is why the betrayal happened. God knew you were ready to level up, and he knew that man could not go where you are going. The betrayal was the ejection seat. It saved your life. If you had stayed, you would have suffocated. You would have shrunk yourself to fit into his limited box. Now the box is broken. You are free to expand. However, expansion hurts. It is growing pains, the anxiety you feel, the waking up at 3 a.m., the sudden waves of grief. This is your system detoxing. You are detoxing from the cortisol, the walking on eggshells, the constant management of his emotions. Your body is learning what safety feels like, and ironically, safety can feel boring or scary at first to a nervous system addicted to chaos. Here is a practical challenge for you, and I want you to take this seriously. For the next 7 days, I want you to practice aggressive self-stewardship. This is not just bubble baths and wine. This is structural repair. First, look at your finances. Betrayal often comes with financial abuse or negligence. Look at the numbers. Do not be afraid of them. Taking control of your money is a spiritual act of warfare. It says, I am capable. Second, look at your environment. Does your home still look like he lives there? Change it, move the furniture, paint a wall, buy new sheets. You need to signal to your subconscious mind that a new regime has begun. The king has fallen. Long live the queen. Third, look at your words. Stop telling the victim story. I know it hurts and you need to process it, but do not make it your identity. When people ask how you are, do not give them the 20-minute saga of what he did. Say, I am in a season of incredible reconstruction and I am excited about what is building. Speak the future, not the past. There is a secret about the law of attraction that fits here. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. If you are betrayed, you attract more situations where you need to be vindicated. If you are rebuilding, you attract bricks, mortar, and builders. Be the builder. Before I reveal the final, most powerful aspect of this spiritual balancing act, I need to ask you something. Are you enjoying this depth? Are you feeling a shift in your spirit? If so, please like this video and subscribe. It tells the algorithm that we need more truth and less fluff. It helps me find the other women who are crying in their cars right now, waiting for a message like this. Now the final secret. It is called the boomerang of intentions. In physics, energy cannot be destroyed, only transferred. In spirituality, intentions are energy. The malice, the deception, and the calculation he used against you, that is a massive amount of negative energy. He threw it at you. Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you. And strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuzazara readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.